Wealth is spoken of as if it were gold, digits on a screen, or grand estates resting on distant hills. Yet these are only shadows cast by the real thing. True wealth is not what one owns, but what one controls. It is not the weight of coins that matters, but the weight of one's influence over others, over their time, their fears, their hopes, their decisions. The common man dreams of luxury. The ruler dreams of command, and it is command that converts paper into permanence. Most people misunderstand money because they view it as an object. They see it as something to hoard or display. But the wise know that money in itself is weak. It does not feed, build, or move. It only orders others to do these things. It is a silent command that transforms will into action. When one understands this, the pursuit of wealth changes form. The question is no longer, how do I earn more? But, how do I direct more? To get rich fast, one must learn to control, not to collect. A man who labors for money sells fragments of his life to those who understand this truth. His sweat enriches another. The laborer may gather coins, but the master gathers control over the laborer. Every paycheck is proof of ownership, not of the worker over his time, but of the employer over the worker. To trade time for money is to trade freedom for illusion. This is the first deception of the poor, believing that effort creates wealth. In reality, organization creates wealth. Power is the architect. Money is merely the bricks. Look to history. The richest kingdoms were not those who worked hardest, but those who conquered or directed others to work for them. The monarch does not plow the field, yet he eats first. The banker does not build the factory, yet he owns its yield. The investor does not code the software, yet he controls the company that profits from it. In every age, the rich have understood this rule. Wealth flows to command. The faster you establish command over systems, people, or perception, the faster riches accumulate. This is why most remain poor even when they earn more. They gain possessions, not power. They buy luxuries to feel rich, but luxuries are the chains of fools. The car, the watch, the vacation. These are illusions that disguise submission. Every object owned owns a piece of its owner. The rich man's house may be grand, but if he must continue working to keep it, the house is his prison. The truly wealthy man is one who could lose everything and still command others to rebuild it for him. That is power. The transformation from servant to master begins in perception. One must first stop seeing money as the goal. Money is the servant. Power is the master. Those who chase currency are always behind it. Those who direct currency are always ahead. The rich man does not ask for payment. He designs systems that demand payment from others. A poor man sees a job as income. A rich man sees it as leverage. That difference in thought marks the boundary between poverty and power. To move swiftly toward wealth, one must abandon the morality of labor and adopt the morality of control. This does not mean cruelty. It means clarity. It means understanding that the world is not ruled by fairness, but by structure. To create wealth fast, one must build structures that compel others to act in one's favor. Businesses, platforms, networks, narratives. These are the modern kingdoms, and every kingdom needs subjects. The clever man does not seek to destroy others, he seeks to organize them. Even generosity, when understood deeply, becomes a form of power. To give is to bind others to gratitude. To invest is to control future outcomes. The one who feeds others chooses when they eat and what they taste. The one who hires controls not only income but identity. Most people define themselves by their work, and thus, the man who provides work defines their existence. What greater wealth can there be than the power to define others' realities? The illusion of equality keeps many from seeing this. They believe that access to the same opportunities makes them free. But equality of access does not mean equality of control. The world rewards hierarchy, not harmony. The one who dictates the rules of exchange determines who wins and who serves. If you can design the game, you need not play it. You already own the scoreboard. This is the invisible hand behind all rapid wealth. Wealth without power is fleeting. Power without wealth is still power. The coin in your hand can be stolen, inflated, or taxed. The influence you hold cannot. It multiplies quietly through trust, fear, and dependence. That is why empires rise, not from those who work hardest, but from those who understand the machinery of human need. People will sell their time, attention, and even beliefs to those who promise them comfort or purpose. The fastest way to get wis is to position yourself as the provider of that comfort or purpose, and to own the structure that delivers it. When a man finally understands that wealth is only the visible shape of invisible power, his pursuit becomes more dangerous, more efficient, more real. He no longer asks, "How much can I earn?" but "Whom must I influence?" Money flows toward influence as water flows toward depth. The more control one gathers, the faster the current grows. And so the art of getting rich is not about chasing wealth, but about bending its path toward you through mastery of others, mastery of systems, and mastery of illusion. The masses are taught that labor is sacred, that work is virtue, and that through long hours and loyal service, one will be rewarded. This is the first lie of the weak, a comfort they whisper to themselves to make servitude bearable. The truth is harsher. Labor enriches the one who commands it, not the one who performs it. The hands that build the palace do not live inside it. Those who spend their days working for others are trapped in the slowest path to wealth, the path designed to keep them obedient and predictable. The swift road to riches lies not in working harder, but in discovering how to multiply effort through leverage. The art of achieving more with less of your own motion. Leverage is the silent force that separates rulers from laborers. It is the invisible multiplier that allows one decision to yield 100 outcomes. The man who labors can produce only what his body allows. The man who commands leverage can produce endlessly. The factory owner grows rich, not because he works harder than the worker, but because he owns the tools that multiply the worker's output. The investor does not sweat, yet his wealth multiplies through the sweat of thousands. The strategist does not carry stones, yet he moves mountains by commanding those who do. To understand leverage is to see how the world truly operates. Everything of power, kingdoms, corporations, empires, and fortunes, is built upon it. There are three forms of leverage that rule them all: human, capital, and informational. The first uses people, the second uses money, and the third uses knowledge. Those who master even one rise quickly. Those who master all three command reality itself. The poor man seeks to increase effort. The rich man seeks to increase effect. One struggles, the other designs. Human leverage is the oldest and most primal. It is the power to make others work in your interest. Slavery, employment, delegation. These are different faces of the same principle: control over other people's energy. Every great fortune is built upon a network of others whose time has been converted into profit. The one who can direct this energy without resistance possesses infinite productivity. The wise ruler learns to make people desire to serve him through reward, fear, or belief. When they move willingly, his power multiplies without cost. Capital leverage is the ability to make money serve itself. Those who understand it treat currency not as treasure, but as a soldier, one that must be sent out to conquer more of its kind. Savings are idle, investments are active. The man who leaves his wealth sleeping in a vault possesses nothing but stillness. The one who sets it to work in businesses, ventures, or debts commands armies of capital that fight for him day and night. The interest, the profit, the return. These are the spoils of battle won without lifting a sword. The faster you deploy money, the faster it reproduces, until you no longer live by labor but by motion. The movement of capital across borders, industries, and minds. Then there is informational leverage, the most powerful and most misunderstood. It is born from ideas, technology, and perception. In the old world, leverage came from owning land or machinery. In the new, it comes from owning attention. The one who controls what others think, see, or believe can move markets, topple rivals, and rewrite reality without touching a single coin. Media, data, algorithms. These are the new catapults of conquest. One viral thought can do what 1,000 workers cannot. Those who master communication wield invisible armies. They do not demand obedience, they inspire it. The key to rapid wealth lies in combining these levers. Imagine a single idea broadcast through technology, amplified by capital, and executed by human hands. That is how fortunes appear in years instead of generations. The merchant, who once needed 100 men to sell his wares, can now reach millions through a single post, a single platform. The ruler of today does not need land, he needs networks. Those networks are modern kingdoms, and leverage is their throne. Yet most remain blind to this. They believe in fairness, in effort, in earning every reward. They are taught that shortcuts are immoral. But the world does not reward morality, it rewards mastery. The man who clings to labor clings to chains. The man who embraces leverage commands his own freedom. This is why so few escape poverty, not because they lack skill, but because they cannot imagine a life where wealth grows without effort. They worship toil as if it were holy, never realizing that the rich sold them that religion to keep them working. Leverage demands a certain coldness of mind. It requires detachment from the illusions of fairness. It demands one to see others not as equals in pursuit, but as instruments of design. This does not mean cruelty. It means clarity. The merchant must see his customers as part of his machine. The leader must see his followers as extensions of his will. The investor must see the market as a field of pawns and opportunities. The sentimental man hesitates. The strategic man calculates. Those who calculate control those who hesitate. Labor creates stability. Leverage creates speed. The worker grows slowly, bound by hours. The master grows exponentially, bound only by his ability to organize force. Time is the great equalizer for the weak, but the great weapon for the strong. The one who understands leverage can buy time, sell it, or multiply it. Every moment he gains compounds into more control. This is why wealth accelerates once it begins. It is not luck, it is leverage feeding upon itself. In the realm of wealth, leverage is the true magic. It turns ideas into empires, moments into movements, and individuals into institutions. To exploit it is to escape the slow grind of life that traps billions. The man who learns to use others' time, others' money, and others' belief can accomplish more in a year than others in a lifetime. Leverage does not reward effort, it rewards understanding. And once one understands it, every act of labor by another becomes an invisible step toward his own ascent. The world is a theater where most men perform goodness rather than practice it. They wear morality like a costume, believing it shields them from judgment. But in truth, it shackles them from greatness. The ambitious who seek to move swiftly toward wealth and power must understand that morality, as society defines it, was not created to elevate men but to tame them. It is a system forged by the weak to restrain the strong. A web of rules meant to make the predator doubt himself before the hunt. Those who break free from this illusion move faster, climb higher, and command more, while the virtuous wait for rewards that never arrive. Every society praises honesty, patience, and fairness because those virtues keep the masses obedient. A man who is patient will not rebel. A man who is fair will not take advantage. A man who is honest will reveal his intentions before he acts. These are not the qualities of conquerors but of servants. The world's greatest fortunes were not built by those who waited their turn, but by those who took it. The ambitious man must learn to appear moral while acting strategic. Virtue is valuable only when it is visible. It creates trust, and trust is the door through which power enters. But to believe in virtue as truth rather than a tool is to submit to the rules of others. Consider the merchant who clings to fair trade while his rival manipulates demand through illusion. The moral man earns slowly, believing justice will protect him. The cunning man bends justice until it serves his profit. Both may speak of honesty, but only one understands that perception of virtue is stronger than virtue itself. The crowd cannot see into your soul. They see your performance. And if your performance is convincing, your actions beneath it are irrelevant. The rich man knows this. He invests in image before conscience, because conscience pays no dividend. Morality is a luxury of those who already have power. The powerless are told to be good, so they remain harmless. They are taught that sacrifice brings reward, that humility earns respect, that patience will be repaid. These are lies crafted to keep the ambitious in chains. The powerful know otherwise. They preach restraint to others and practice cunning themselves. They demand honesty from subordinates while trading secrets among allies. They glorify charity while using it to cleanse their reputation and expand influence. Morality in the hands of the powerful is not faith, but strategy. The ambitious man who seeks rapid ascent must treat morality as he would a weapon, polish it, display it, but never hesitate to drop it when it dulls his edge. The world forgives results. History remembers victors, not their ethics. A lie that builds an empire will be rewritten as vision. A betrayal that secures a throne will be recorded as courage. Morality bends under the weight of success. The poor are moral because they must be. The rich are moral because they can afford to be. The path to power does not run through purity, but through perception. To act beyond morality is not to embrace cruelty, but to embrace necessity. The ambitious man must do what others will not because he is evil, but because he is willing to bear the cost of clarity. He sees that every moral rule is conditional, every law negotiable, every virtue situational. Mercy is admired only when one can afford it. Honesty is praised only when it benefits others. The cunning man sees these contradictions and turns them into opportunity. While others pause to consider what is right, he has already acted, and action is the language of dominance. To the moral, the world is divided between good and evil. To the ambitious, it is divided between useful and useless. The moral man hesitates before deceiving others. The ambitious man deceives to prevent being deceived. He knows that power is not given, it is taken, and that those who play by rules written by others will forever remain servants to them. He understands that every moral system is a structure of control, crafted to protect those who established it. To rise, one must learn not to destroy these systems, but to navigate them unseen. The appearance of morality must never be abandoned, for it is the disguise that permits ambition to flourish in daylight. The masses forgive what they cannot see and worship what they believe to be good. The wise man does not reject morality outright. He uses it as armor. He builds an image of integrity so strong that even his manipulations appear noble. He funds causes not from compassion, but from calculation, knowing that generosity buys loyalty faster than money alone. The perception of goodness is a currency more valuable than gold, because it can purchase silence, forgiveness, and faith. But morality, when taken seriously, slows every motion of ambition. It demands reflection where action is needed, remorse where strength is required, confession where concealment is wiser. The moral man exhausts his will seeking approval. The ambitious man invests his will in outcomes. The first waits for permission. The second creates opportunity. Those who cling to morality as a compass will forever walk in circles, guided by ideals that no longer exist. Those who treat morality as a mask will walk straight through fire, untouched, because they know the mask need only survive until victory is secure. The pursuit of wealth and power is a contest, not a virtue, but a vision. Those who hesitate for the sake of appearing good become tools in the hands of those who act without hesitation. Morality slows the ambitious because it demands purity in a world that rewards performance. It binds the mind with guilt, softens resolve with empathy, and replaces strategy with conscience. The few who rise above it see morality not as truth, but as theater, and they learn to write the script themselves. Wealth in its purest form is not drawn from material resources, but from belief. The most powerful currency in existence is not gold, not oil, not data. It is perception. Whoever shapes the way others think determines what they will value, and what they value, they will pay for. To control narrative is to control the invisible thread that binds markets, movements, and men. Every fortune that appeared to rise from nothing was first born from an idea that others agreed to worship. The rich understand this truth instinctively, that money is not real until it is believed in, and belief can be designed. A man does not become rich by producing the best product, but by convincing others that what he offers defines them. Luxury brands thrive not because of their materials, but because of their story. The illusion of superiority, of belonging to an elite. The fabric may be ordinary, but the narrative stitched into it is priceless. Every empire of commerce, from ancient traders to modern tycoons, has rested on a single foundation: the ability to make others believe. Control the story, and you own the value. Lose the story, and you lose everything. The masses live inside narratives they did not create. They believe their desires are their own when, in truth, those desires were planted by someone who profits from them. The ambitious man does not consume these narratives, he manufactures them. He knows that human beings crave meaning more than truth, and that meaning can be sculpted into a weapon. Religion, politics, brands, fame, all are built on controlled illusions. People do not buy products or ideas, they buy stories about themselves. The fastest path to wealth is not to chase markets, but to author them. In ancient times, kings ruled through divine myths, proclaiming themselves chosen by gods to justify their dominion. In modern times, corporations rule through social myths, convincing the masses that their consumption defines their worth. The language has changed, but the method remains identical. Both command obedience through narrative, both turn belief into profit. The man who understands this can build wealth from nothing but words. His weapon is persuasion, his empire perception. To control narrative, one must understand the psychology of hunger. People do not seek money. They seek what money represents: freedom, respect, power, love, survival. If you can link your story to any of these hungers, the masses will follow willingly. A successful narrative does not demand force. It invites submission. It makes people feel that obedience is choice. That purchase is empowerment. The clever ruler does not demand loyalty. He inspires it through narrative. The clever merchant does not demand payment. He makes the buyer want to pay. Truth has little weight in this equation. What matters is repetition, presentation, and authority. The same lie spoken 1,000 times becomes indistinguishable from truth. The same truth, whispered timidly, dies unheard. The ambitious man uses this imbalance as leverage. He amplifies his voice until it becomes the only one others hear. He surrounds his message with symbols, prestige, and confidence, for perception obeys appearances. The crowd follows whoever looks certain, not whoever is right. In markets, perception defines price. A gem is valuable only because enough people believe it is. A signature on a canvas transforms paint into millions. A digital token, invisible and intangible, becomes fortune because belief demands it. These are not accidents. They are engineered narratives, reinforced by authority, scarcity, and status. The rich are not bound by the value of things. They create value by dictating what things mean. The poor measure worth in cost, the rich measure it in control, over perception. The man who learns to manipulate narrative gains an advantage greater than capital. He can make others finance his vision. Investors, followers, customers, they all become extensions of his belief system. He feeds them a story so vivid that they act it out for him. In doing so, they build his wealth while thinking they pursue their own dreams. This is the highest form of mastery, not through coercion, but through invisible influence. The puppeteer is unseen, but his strings move nations. Every revolution, every fortune, every dynasty has been secured through control of the story. Those who cannot tell one are forced to live inside someone else's. Media, art, politics, religion, all are battlefields of narrative. Whoever dominates attention dominates reality. To gain attention is to mint currency. To lose it is to become irrelevant. The ambitious man does not seek truth, but control of attention. Because attention decides what becomes true. In the age of endless noise, the loudest lie outlives the quiet fact. But narrative control is not mere deceit, it is design. The one who masters it does not simply manipulate others. He constructs the framework through which others perceive the world. He defines their heroes and villains, their dreams and fears. He becomes the architect of their understanding. Wealth flows toward him because he shapes the direction of collective belief. The crowd calls it fate, but it is only strategy hidden beneath emotion. To control narrative requires the discipline of detachment. One must not be seduced by his own story, for even creators can become prisoners of their illusions. The wise architect of perception remains outside it, adjusting tone, language, and symbols as needed. He studies how belief shifts with time, how desire evolves with scarcity, how fear manipulates reason. He understands that people do not seek what is true. They seek what comforts them, and the richest man is the one who sells comfort packaged as purpose. The invisible law of power is simple. Control narrative, and you control value. Once people accept your version of reality, you no longer compete within markets, you define them. Competitors must play by the rules you set, speak in the language you wrote, and measure success by your standards. This is how true wealth multiplies, not through production, but through domination of perception. The fastest way to get rich is not by creating more, but by making others believe that what you already have is worth more than all they own. In the pursuit of wealth, most men chase shadows, coins, possessions, fleeting comfort, while the truly powerful chase understanding. Riches do not come to those who work hardest, nor to those who wait patiently for fairness to reward them. They come to those who see through illusion and learn to command it. Wealth is not earned, it is engineered. It is the consequence of leverage, control, and mastery of perception. The masses labor under morality, tradition, and fear, believing virtue alone will lead them upward. But the world is not ruled by virtue. It is ruled by those who understand human nature and shape it to their design. The ambitious rise not by chance, but by calculation, by directing effort instead of performing it, by commanding belief instead of following it. To get rich fast is not to move recklessly, but to move with precision. To play the game while others are still learning the rules. It is to see wealth not as money, but as motion, not as possession, but as power, not as luck, but as the art of control. Those who dare to think beyond morality, beyond labor, beyond illusion, they do not wait for opportunity, they manufacture it. And in doing so, they rise above the world that serves them, unseen, yet obeyed.